Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 67 and today I've got some very good news for you guys. As you may notice, as I move my mouse around here, things are looking really quite smooth. I mean, we are standing on probably one of the laggiest areas on the Hermitcraft server, and there is absolutely no frame drops despite the fact that I'm currently rendering a video and also have a bunch of windows open in Google Chrome. This thing is running like a charm, and that is because I'm in the new computer. As you can see, we're running the Jumbo Signature Edition PC. We've got the 12 times Intel Core i7. We've got the GeForce GTX 1080 with 8GB of GPU memory. I mean, this thing is completely ridiculous. You can see the specs on the right-hand side of the screen. It's completely bonkers, to be quite frankly honest with you. And after a ton of people let me know down in the comment section to start using VSync, we are now at 120 frames a second. But earlier on today on the Hermitcraft server, I was cruising around at 2,000 frames a second. Which I've heard is a little bit silly. It can actually end up knackering out your hardware really quickly, so I stopped doing that. But yeah, this thing is ridiculous. So hopefully from this point forth, my videos should be looking silky smooth, and there will be none of that jitteriness of the old PC, because that was getting pretty bad towards the end of its lifetime. But anyway, in today's episode, we are not going to be talking constantly about my new PC. Instead, we are going to be working on the Batcave, because we have got a very exciting project to work on. So for those of you who missed the previous episode of Hermitcraft, this is what we ended up building. As you can see, we have constructed a giant area underneath the Batcave, and we've got a bunch of stuff underneath. Now I know what you're thinking. If you did miss that episode, you probably sat there going, Mumbo, what on earth have you been doing? I mean, there's blocks all over the place. This place looks absolutely disgusting. What were you thinking? I know your buildings are bad, but this is like next level awful. Do not worry. This is actually meant to be a combat training exercise where we're going to be running through and we're going to be shooting at things. So just like all combat training exercises, I wanted to make sure that it looked a little bit war-torn and a little bit rough around the edges. So what we're going to do is we're going to run through this area right here, and we're going to shoot this redstone lamp. That's going to be a redstone lamp. Then we'll shoot this one over here. Then I think we shoot this one. Then make our way through, shoot that one. Then the one at the end. Then we make our way through into the next section, which is this area right here, which is really nice and dark. We shoot that one there, and then I think it's that one there. And then we go through there, shoot this one, then this one right here, and pop up to the next level and make our way across this section, which is like especially broken up. I think there's going to be some on the walls, then there's going to be one on this side that we're going to shoot from the back. I remember doing that. Then we shoot one at the wall, shoot another one at the wall, another one up there, and then we make our way out of the combat training exercise. That's basically how it's going to work. You're going to have to use your imagination just a tiny bit for the minute, because in today's episode, we're actually going to be adding in all of the redstone and making sure that this entire thing functions. It's going to be a pretty massive project, but I think at the end of it, it's going to be absolutely amazing. So I'm super excited for it. Oh, creeper just blew up my bed! Oh, that scared the pants off of me. Man, where are all these guys coming from? I say it pretty much every single episode. At some point, I am going to light up my base, but today, it's not that day. Okay guys, I've got a bit of a progress update for you. Number one, I have chucked in all of the redstone lamps. Just had to pop off into the nether, pick up a little bit of glowstone, and then we're good to go. So all of these are now in place. Everything is looking wonderful there. But most importantly, if we just pop through this little cubby hole here, you can see we've got a nice big area to work with for all of the redstone. Because as you saw at the end of the previous episode of Hermitcraft, this is actually going to be a tiny bit more complicated than I first imagined. Now, it's not going to be like ridiculously complex, okay? We're not building like a redstone computer right here. But it involves a few AND gates, a few RS NOR latches, and a tiny bit of redstone logic to work. But in the end, it should end up functioning really quite nicely. The only thing I'm a tiny bit worried about is how long it's going to take for the redstone signals to go from the lamps into the actual system itself. Because if it does take ages, then we won't be able to have a piston door at the end. We might have to do a sort of timing mechanism instead, which arguably would be a tiny bit more cooler. So maybe that's something that we can put on the cards. One of the biggest downsides of Silk Touch is I now have to go all the way back over to the RV because I don't have any cobblestone, and I have no way of achieving any cobblestone. It's infuriating. The good news is almost all of our redstone logic circuitry is pretty much all in place. We've got all of the RS NOR latches, we've got the comparator outputs from those running into this AND gate right here, and I'm now connecting up all of the redstone torches, which is going to be the output of the AND gate, and that's going to run out into this redstone torch, and that's going to be the output of the system. So only when all of these RS NOR latches are activated, which means all of these redstone torches will be off, which means that all of this redstone will be off, will we get an output through this redstone torch right here. So that is the entire logic system done, which is fantastic. That's like 50% of the work. The other 50% is connecting up all of the redstone lamps into all of these RS NOR latches. And I have to say, although in my head I think this is going to be relatively easy, It's not. It's definitely not with him around. Oh my words. Okay, let's get out. Let's get out. I really need to light up this place better. I know it's cool that it's all dark and dingy. You know, it's not meant to be bright. Whoa! Oh, but we just can't be having things like creepers spawning inside there because, well, I'm a total spoon. And I'll definitely end up destroying everything. Oh. So far, I've only wired in 3 of the redstone lamps. And I can already tell that this place is going to be a horrendous mess of redstone wiring. Look, these 3 have been done, and there is already all of this going on. We've got the first redstone lamp done. We've got the redstone lamp down off by the edge of the building done. I wonder if I can actually show you here. I think I mined out quite a large area. So yeah, this one is linked up, and also that one up at the top there is linked into the system as well, which means we're making okay progress. This has taken around about 20 minutes so far, believe it or not. It takes me ages to actually find the redstone lamps in the rock. But we still have this one to do, this one to do, and this one to do for the bottom layer, and obviously all of the other ones in the combat training. We are going to get all of this done in today's episode, no matter how long it takes. Another obstacle in our way, this hopper line exists. This is the hopper line that takes objects from the melon farm and the pumpkin farm and things like that. And yeah, it goes right the way underneath our build, just 1 block underneath it, which means that we can't place any redstone on these blocks because it will power those hoppers, which will back up the entire system. Sometimes I think maybe I'm just the most unlucky human on the planet. Now, I'm almost 90% certain this is going to use up my final bits of redstone, but I'm currently on the hunt for my other redstone line. I think I've just about discovered it right there. I know that's not the most scientific method, but it seems to be working well for me at this point in time. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11... 12, 13, 14, 15, so we're going to have to chuck in a repeater right there to keep things flowing, and now we need to run the redstone up through this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right, awesome. Okay, so that is linked up. We only have 4 redstone left, so I'm going to have to pop back through to the RV to pick up some more. But this is the current state of affairs. Now, I've added in a few extra lines around the back, as you can see. That's just to decrease clutter. But also, I have wired in some really interesting redstone lamps. Because I did all the easy ones first, which was a stupid decision, I am now doing all the tricky ones, like the ones way out the back. We've got a redstone line going right the way up there. We've got all of the ones that are inside the chamber. They're quite difficult to do, but things are coming together quite nicely. I mean, they are coming together quite nicely. It's just looking more and more like Spaghetti Junction here, day by day. So here we go, guys. This is the home straight, the final redstone lamp to link up, and I'm going to do this live on camera because this has been quite the long process, I have to say. It has been quite a long-winded process. I wasn't expecting it to take quite this long, but I'll show you on the second account what this area actually looks like in the next couple seconds. There it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we'll need a repeater right there. And then the redstone should run directly into the side of this dropper right here. Do I need to count that? I think that's under 15 blocks, I imagine. So there we go. That is everything done. Spaghetti Junction has been completed. Oh boy. This looks great though, and hopefully, fingers crossed, everything functions properly. We're about to do the full test in the next couple seconds, but first things first, just want to show you what it looks like. So it is. This is all of the redstone wiring, and I have to say I'm a tiny bit disappointed because I expected it to look a little bit more crazy than this, but it still looks very impressive. I'm really happy with it, and one thing that I did just think as I logged in with the second account is, wouldn't it have been smart to have done this earlier? I actually logged in with the second account and worked out where I was mining. So I would have done this, I would have gone down like that, and I would have gone, okay, so you need to go from there, across like this, and then do a right, and then you're done. I took so many long-winded routes. I did so much like block breaking, and then replacing, and exploring around the area, because I didn't know where I was going, and I could have just done that. I mean, I'm such a spoon. That is definitely spoon count number 1 through to number 10. That's absolutely ridiculous. This is like the combination of like 3 to 4 hours of work that could have been cut down to around about an hour, I reckon. It's absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, it's done. Hopefully it works. We're now going to crack on and do the first test. And I have to say, I'm a little bit scared about this one. I just popped up to the drone to grab some arrows, and I'm in the process of testing this thing. So I've got the second account logged in, looking at the RS null latches, and I'm just wandering through shooting arrows at the buttons. So that redstone torch did actually turn off, so this is functional, that's good. This one, yes, that has turned off a torch. This one right here, That's turned off a torch. That is excellent. Right, okay, these ones over here. Let's see how these ones are doing. Let's see how my aim is doing. By the look of things, not particularly brilliantly. Right, I think that turned off one of the torches. However, I'm not 100% certain. What about that one there? We're going to have to spin back and do that. Okay, that turned off one of them. Good stuff. This one right here. Oh, that's strange. By the look of things, we have got some connected redstones. We're going to have to fix that one. Okay, that one. Yep, that's turned something off. And this one right here. That's turned something off. So, we have got two mistakes. We have got two mistakes in this thing. And I do believe it is that one there and that one down at the bottom there. Neither of these two are working, so I've quickly got to fix that. And then we can do a proper run. I do believe that's everything fixed. Let's just quickly check to see that our iron gate is turned off. Yes, it has. Good, that means we will get a redstone output. Now what we have to do is the reset line that we're going to hook up to a pressure plate at the start, and this thing will be ready to go. And then we have to create the stopwatch. Yeah, there's still plenty to do, isn't there? All of that has now been done, everything is finished. I gave it another test, it all seems to be working perfectly. So now it's time to crack on with the stopwatch. Now this is the stopwatch that we're going to be building right here. It's the design by myself. The reason that I remember this thing is because I was so excited to upload this. I was so chuffed with the design. I put hours upon hours into this little thing right here. And I uploaded it and nobody particularly cared. Like, everyone was just like, yeah, it's alright, I suppose, it's quite cool. And it's just one of those uploads that I distinctly remember because I remember sort of clicking on it, waiting to read through the comments, and just nobody was particularly excited about it. So please, everyone, get really excited about this thing down in the comment section to make up for lost time. But anyway, this is the stopwatch. It's pretty awesome, a very, very compact and easy to build design, and I think it's going to fit in perfectly with our combat training on the Hermitcraft server. So let's do this. Can I just give a massive shout out to this iron farm right here, because it is always just permanently producing huge quantities of iron. It's amazing. And for the final part of the stopwatch, it is my favourite little redstone circuit right here, and I'm going to do all of it on camera because you guys know I love this thing. Block there, and then a block right there, and then we need our repeater and our redstone running back round, and that is everything done if I remember correctly. So there is our stopwatch. Now the reason that we don't have a lever up at the top is because this stopwatch is not going to be player controlled. Instead, it is going to be RS NOR latch controlled. So as soon as you run through this, that will start up the stopwatch, and it will only stop timing once you've turned off all of the redstone amps. This is basically how you've got to do it. I think it's a pretty good idea, and it should work wonderfully. So I've now got to hook up that thing to this thing, and that thing to this thing as well. Right, everything should now be in place. What I'm going to do is I'm going to test the stopwatch independently, and then I'll give the full thing a test, and we'll see what sort of time I can get. So, all of the items are in, everything should be in place. This thing is now locked. If we were to run over this pressure plate right here, that would power our stopwatch, and we have got items coming through into the chest, and then when we finish it, this redstone line should power, and that should turn off our stopwatch. Which it has! Fantastic! And then if we flick this lever right here, that will unlock it. All of the items will flow from that chest into this item elevator, and they will make their way back up into this chest up here. And because this is locked, they will be stored. It's working perfectly. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Right. Well, I've got to clear up all these blocks, and then we're going to do our first proper test of the combat training area. I'll be honest, I just did a run of the combat training. Totally broke, didn't work, stopwatch didn't stop, so that's not particularly brilliant, is it? I just fixed up some of the redstone, hopefully, fingers crossed, this is now going to work, because this is going to be the proper one. You should have seen the one before it, though. It was so fast, you know, Usain Bolt would have been proud. It was the fastest thing I've ever done, but sadly, I didn't quite catch it on camera, so you're going to have to make do with what you see right here, which could be a little bit messy. Are you ready? I'm going to rub my palms a little bit. Get rid of all the sweat, it's a really hot day, and let's do it! Right, okay, we've activated it, and that is a very strong start, I would say. Oh yes, we're doing well. Okay, that is like 3 out of 4 right there. And then this one, boom, boom. Yes, okay, good. I probably should have looked first time. Okay, that one, we missed that. We got that one. We've got that one now. Yes, this is good. That was a hit. Come on now. I can't believe it. Right, there it is. Okay, that was sort of cheating, but we're going to count it. And this one, good stuff. Oh, that was such a good shot. That was a good one. That was impressive. You have to admit, guys, that was pretty impressive. Oh, that was dead on. Oh, you can't teach that. Oh, there we go. Wow! My heart! My heart is in my mouth. Let's try our best not to reset this thing. And let's hop over the fence and see. No! Why? Why is that like that? Why does this not work properly? Oh, come on now. It should have reset. Let's take a look in here. And... yep. All of our error snore latches, they're completely turned off. Our AND gate is off. It's giving an output. This should be functional. That's such a pain in my backside. I do believe I have now fixed up all of the redstone. And yes, I have. So that is the official time that I managed to get on the run that I just did. I'll be honest, I'm being deadly honest here. That was not as fast as the previous one. The previous one was pretty decent. But 64 and 61 melons. That is the current record for the combat training area. I guess I will try this again at some point in the near future. I'll try my best to better that score. But now it is time to actually create an exit area for this thing. And I think I'm going to loop it around like this and actually make it come out there. That probably makes quite a bit of sense. You know, when I said I was going to create the exit for this place, never said that it was going to be particularly glamorous, did I? Right, I think we should be good for a left turn now. And there we go. We have popped out in this area. And then we have to pop out over here as well. And I guess I'll just fill in all of the blocks around the outside edge. I mean, I know, okay, I know it's a pretty ugly exit to this thing. You would have thought a champion who has just conquered the entirety of the combat training course should have a better exit than this. But to be honest with you, I don't really fancy building one today. Maybe at some point in the near future we could chuck in some really nice decoration blocks in here, but for now I like it how it is, okay? Iron ore and all. I love it. So now we're going to be moving on from this area. We're going to be leaving the combat training space behind, and we're going to be cracking on with something slightly different. So, as you guys probably already know and can probably tell from all the ticking noises here, my farms are running. They're running very well, and we're getting plenty of items. We can see we've got loads of melons going right the way up to the top. We've got a ton of pumpkins. They go up to this chest right here. We're almost there. So very close. And obviously a bunch of sugarcane. We've got a bunch of carrots and a bunch of potatoes. Tons of eggs. We've got tons of everything, basically. Issue is that we haven't been doing a whole lot of trading recently. We've got all these farms to do all the trading with the villagers, and I haven't done any trading, and I actually don't have any emerald blocks because I spent all of them to create this rather ugly but sort of quite cool beacon pillar. So what we're going to do today at the end of today's episode is we're going to hop into the villager trading area, we're going to bear all of the clicking noises, and we're going to crack on with some trading. And you know what? I think I'm going to do it in a time-lapse chat because it's been a little while since I've done that. So, as you guys probably remember, in a recent Hermitcraft episode, I was chatting to you about No Man's Sky. Now, No Man's Sky is a game that recently released on the PC. It came out much earlier on the PS4, something that a lot of people have been very, very excited about. I mean, seriously, it looked incredible. And I was chatting to you about No Man's Sky. I was telling you that it was going to be releasing on the day of that Hermitcraft episode, and I was going to read through your comments and decide whether or not I wanted to play No Man's Sky. Now, I played No Man's Sky. I played it on the Friday for like a good 7 or 8 hours. I played it a bit on the Saturday for like a few hours. These past couple of days, I've been ridiculously busy, so I haven't really been able to play it too much. But I think I already know that I'm not going to be playing it on my YouTube channel. Now, there's no real reason for this. That sounds odd, but there's no real like proper reason for this. It's just some of you didn't really want to see it. Okay, there were a few people that said that they really wanted to see it, but there were a lot of people that were like, no, I don't want to see you play No Man's Sky because it's a bit boring to watch, okay? And I get where you're coming from. I totally see where you're coming from because it's a fun exploration game. Like, it's a really fun game to play, to just chill out to. It's like one of those games that's super relaxed. Like, you can just sit on the sofa and you can play No Man's Sky, not really put too much effort into it. You just fly around in your ship and scan things and mine things. Like, I wasn't even really touching the campaign or doing any of the quests because I just like finding planets and I like just checking out what there is to offer in there. But as far as like making videos is concerned, to me, there wasn't really enough there. You know, I wouldn't be able to create cool things to show off to you. I wouldn't be able to build awesome stuff or insane bases, and I wouldn't be able to show off crazy things because No Man's Sky, the whole point of it is you explore and you find the crazy things. Now, I could explore and find the crazy things, but I have to admit there wasn't too much crazy in No Man's Sky. Like, there were no planets that really blew my mind. Once you'd seen like the first 10, they all seemed fairly similar. I know they're completely random, okay, and I know that they're procedurally generated and every single one of them is different, but they didn't look ridiculously different, did they? I mean, they didn't look like some planets. I was expecting, like, some planets to be like on Minecraft standard mode, then some planets to be on, like, Minecraft amplified mode with crazy stuff going on. None of that was really happening. It was like, it was all pretty chilled out. All the planets seemed fairly similar. So, I love the game. I love No Man's Sky, but I'm not going to be doing videos on it. I do apologise if that disappoints anyone, but that's sort of my verdict. So anyway, back onto the Hermitcraft server. So, during that little time lapse right there, we managed to get ourselves 9 stacks of emerald, which equates to 1 full stack of emerald blocks. Now, it didn't take too long. I think that was around about half an hour's work, which isn't too bad. I feel like I could be doing it better though. I think one of my main bottlenecks here is when I run out of items, I have to go all the way over there to pick them up and then come back. So maybe I should remove all of the items from these chests. I should remove all of the items from these chests anyway, because, I mean, it's just junk in all of here. But I'll replace all of these items with, like, proper items, things like melons, pumpkins, and carrots and potatoes, things that I can actually use to trade with this guy, so then I can go to and from them really, really quickly and basically sort out the trades nice and fast. But one thing that I will say is that, of course, during that trading session right there, we did end up using a bunch of resources. If we pop into the really loud area, it's just an incredibly annoying ticking noise. You can see we've used, well, the melon supplies, they have actually rebounded, but obviously our little pumpkin supplies, they're looking a tiny bit depleted. We've got a bunch missing there, and we've got a few missing from up there. I think that was to around about there originally. But other than that, it's not looking too bad. It isn't looking too bad. Was there a hopper in there? Yeah, let's grab that. But I think one thing that I really want to do, and I've wanted to do this ever since I built the storage trench, I want to fill this up with pumpkins. Okay, this whole area needs to be filled with pumpkins at some point. We need to get the pumpkins to hit this top chest. So I'm going to go AFK for the next couple hours, maybe even overnight, and hopefully we can manage to reach that goal. Fingers crossed. I'll be honest, guys, I just had a sneaky peek at the chest, and by the look of things, we got kicked very early in our AFK session. we maybe got about 9 stacks of pumpkins, that's it. Oh, that's so frustrating. I so thought we were going to get the full set of 36 double chests of pumpkins, but clearly today is not the day. We have got 3 double chests left to go. Unfortunately, our AFKing wasn't so successful last night. I need to work out what is actually kicking me. It keeps saying like the Java exception error type thing. I don't really fully understand what that means. Someone should probably let me know down in the comment section. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.